Hi guys, Mark Dawes again, and here's video number 2 in the free marketing course for you. Now, do you remember the 4 pillars we talked about? Well, I just want to get the mindset right for you. I just want to start working on the bedrock here. I want to start working on the psychology, some of the stuff we spoke about earlier on. Now, I want you I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to think about this question because it's a really important question. But before you answer the question, you need to do something for yourself, and that is suspend disbelief. I want you to just imagine. I want you to use your imagination and let it run riot with you. If you had a piece of paper, just a normal 80-gram thin bit of paper that you could pick up off your printer, but it was huge. Let's say it was massive. Let's say it's the size of 6 or 10 football pitches, but it's very, very thin. Now let's say you were capable of folding that paper 50 times. So what I mean by folding it is you fold it in half, and then you fold it in half again. So each time you fold it, you double the thickness. After 50 folds, how thick would that paper be? Now, all I want you to do, and in fact, this is something we're going to be doing later on in the course, is use your imagination right now to think about how thick that piece of paper will be. Now, when we pose this question to people on courses, they've told us, well, it's this thick, this big. Some have said it would be the height of a house or the height of an office block. But conceptually, most people find it really hard to get their head around this particular question because they can't imagine folding a piece of paper 50 times. Now, technically, physically, people say it can't be done. But the mathematics can. And this is how they managed to put spaceships and spacecraft and probes way off into deep space to land on other planets that we can't even see. But they land on them at exactly the right time. So the mathematics involved in this equation are really important because we're talking about viruses here. We're talking about how things can spread virally. So let me answer the question for you. If it was possible to fold a piece of paper, a normal 80-gram piece of paper, just one you take off your computer, and you folded that 50 times, the height of the thickness of that stack of paper at the end of 50 folds would go from planet Earth to the Sun. It would go that far. 50 folds of paper from Earth to the Sun. That is mathematically true. You can check it on Google. It is phenomenal. Now, the reason that it's able to go that far is at a certain point it takes on its own. It takes on its own sort of, if you like, manufacturing. It multiplies, exponentially. It just goes viral. And this is the same way, if you like, that illnesses are actually spread in the body. It starts off with one cell and it spreads. It reaches a point, and that's why many people suffer from many illnesses. Now, think about this. How many steps does a child take before it eventually ends up walking on its own? In fact, how many times does a child, when it starts to learn to walk, fall over before it takes its first step unaided? 50? More than 50? 100 perhaps? Well, what if we came up with a rule that said you're only allowed 3 attempts, guys? Remember the 3 strikes and you're out thing that people talk about? If we apply that rule to a child, that child would never walk. It would try 3 times and give up, and we as a human race would be shuffling around on our backsides. We just wouldn't be able to walk. It would be unthinkable. So why doesn't the child give up? And the reason is it can see the output. It can see what it wants to do, and it hasn't experienced failure, or it hasn't been taught failure. So the child learns how to walk, and it will keep on going until it can do it. So here's a question for you. If you did one thing a day, and you compounded that each day by doing another thing, and another thing, and another thing, how much will you have possibly achieved in 2 months? 2 months, by the way, is 60 days. How far will you have gone? Now, to do this and achieve this, you need 2 things. You need motivation, because that gets you up and gets you going, and you need habit, because that keeps you going. This course is going to give you that motivation. This course is going to start instilling habits in you. Habits that you will do without thinking. So there's a second video for you. What can you achieve in 2 months if you do one thing a day? And we're going to help you do those one things. We're going to teach you, as I've said already, how to produce freemiums, how to do video, how to market your business, how to get websites, how to get websites for free, how to drive traffic to your websites. If you compound all that, where will you be in 2 months' time? Oh, and here's the other thing for you. If you've never done this before, you're allowed to make mistakes, okay? You're allowed to fail. Please fail. Fail as many times as you like, okay? You will learn a hell of a lot from failure. I have the privilege of working with Olympic athletes. They fail 85 to 95% of the time. But they keep on going. Why? Because they learn from it. Don't be scared of failure. There is no such thing as a 100% gilt-edged, absolutely platinum bonus that you will actually succeed every time. It doesn't happen. The whole of the human race is built on this thing, and it's called trial and error. So try something. If it works, do more of it. If it doesn't, don't do it. But learn from it and do something different next time. Do that every day for 2 months, see how far you get. See you in the next video.